Hey everybody, Becky Kilimnik here, having a cup of coffee and thinking about dashes. I feel the need to talk about dashes because they tend to get mixed up and misused in so many different ways. The em dash, so called because it is traditionally the length of em, this long dash is traditionally used to break up a part of a sentence. Perhaps where you had considered parentheses or a semicolon, the em dash will do just nicely. To get an em dash on a Mac, you do this key command, and on a PC it's a little more complicated, but can be done. If you're in Microsoft Word and you try to put an incorrect dash, it will, thankfully, automatically correct it. You've probably seen this happen. If you're working in InDesign or Photoshop or Illustrator, you can go into your glyphs palette and pull up an em dash. In HTML, it is represented thus. Easy, right? What is not correct? Space dash space or dash dash. When is it correct to use two hyphens in a row? When you're on a typewriter. You're probably not using a typewriter. If you are, I commend you. This thing is the hardest to use. But chances are, you're on a computer, and on a computer, you should use an em dash. Oh, the poor little em dash. Raise your hand if you don't know what an em dash is. You're not alone. The em dash, called so because it is traditionally the length of an N, is used between two values, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can swap out that word to with an en dash, 9 to 5. En dash, 1979 to 2005. En dash. Get it? Pretty easy. On a Mac, you get the en dash by using this key command. On a PC, again, not as easy. Working in that design software, you have that glyphs palette. Use it. HTML, start using it. It looks a little prettier than a hyphen, doesn't it? All right, so let's talk about the hyphen. The hyphen, which often gets used in lieu of the em dash and the en dash. When is a hyphen acceptable? Well, that's actually a really interesting question. There are some words that used to be hyphenated and are no longer hyphenated. There are some words that are hyphenated in some corporate settings and not hyphenated according to other style guides. However, if you must break a word apart from one line to the next, the hyphen is what you use. But let's talk a little bit about hyphenation. Should you hyphenate? It does have to do with your style guide to an extent, but a general rule of thumb that I like to follow is if you are creating something for marketing purposes, in other words, you've probably got a small amount of text and you're trying to get attention quickly, get rid of those hyphens. You can do this really easily in InDesign when you just highlight your text. Go over here and make sure this hyphenate option is not checked. If you see a little hyphen in it, just click on it twice. If, on the other hand, you're designing something for publishing purposes, an article, a story, a case study, then hyphenation is probably okay because you got gobs and gobs and gobs of text you gotta fit on that page. However, you can control just how much of a word is hyphenated. In InDesign, when you create a paragraph style, go in here and click on this hyphenation tab. And voila, look at that. You can control how much of a word is going to be hyphenated. This is fun for those of us that are obsessed with hyphens. All right, that's my 2 cents for the day. Please check out my site at www.kilimnik.com for more design advice and upcoming workshops.